discussing the matter in
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable nominee, tell us briefly about yourself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Wilbert Brentum, a trained mining engineer by profession. I started my schooling at a village where I come from called New Yakase. I completed middle school and I went to Asankigwa Secondary School. From there, I passed the O-level and then went to the Ghana Secondary Technical School, GSTS. I completed there and later went to the University of Science and Technology School of Mines at Takwa, where I trained as a mine surveyor. There I worked with the Ghana Cocoa Board initially. In fact, before coming to the university, after sixth form, I worked. But I came to the university, went back and taught in the Dwabosu Senior Secondary School. And in the process, I stood elections and won as an assemblyman. And while I was working as an assemblyman, I had a privilege to serve on a number of subcommittees, including a work subcommittee where I was the chairman, and automatically by the statute, I became the chairman of a technical evaluation team. I also served on environmental subcommittee and also member of the statutory planning committee. Mr. Chairman, I later went to do my MSc when the school now changed to University of Mines and Technology. After that, I had the privilege to work with the Ghana Minerals Commission as a staff in the small-scale mining department. After working for some time, I left and joined an international organization called Solidarity. From there, I had opportunity to work in fact, on global platforms because we attended seminars and workshops on artisanal small-scale mining. Mr. Chairman, on the side of the party, I've done quite a lot of job. In the 2020, I was the chairman of the Manifesto Committee in the Western North region. A job I think I performed with excellence. I was also a member of the campaign team and was in charge of security. I was the secretary to the security for the elections. So in a brief, that's what I have to say about myself. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
I'll give the floor to Honorable Mama Elga.
Let me congratulate you on your nomination to the post if you are approved by this House of Regional Minister.
Thank you very much.
Western North, Western region, the forest belt generally, our major challenge now is how to deal with illegal mining activities, especially in forest areas, forest reserves. Can you tell us your appreciation of the problem? What is causing this urge to mine in forest areas or forest reserves? Why are we unable to deal with this problem? Or do you think that we can deal with this problem? And what are your proposals, since you are going to be a regional minister and that whole territory will be under you? And President John Dramani Mahama has made a clear commitment to deal with the problem of illegal mining, especially illegal mining in forest reserves.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I think as a country, we're not doing so well on managing small-scale mining activities. And I want to say here that our failure is not because we have not been able to stop artisanal small-scale mining, but our failure is the fact that we have not been able to manage it well. Mr. Chairman, artisanal small-scale mining contributes to the economy very well. And from where I sit, if I want to talk about the type of mining that has benefited Ghanaians, I would say is a small-scale mining. Small-scale mining contributes about 30% of the all gold that is produced in Ghana. Unfortunately, as a country, coming to your question, we've not been able to solve the small-scale mining problem because I think we don't understand them. And it is important we understand them, sit down with them, and they themselves can come out with the solution. Mr. Chairman, I don't want to be misquoted as countenancing the illegality in the mining sector. We have all come to agree that...
Mr. Nominee, you are from the Western North region. You've lived there most of your life, I believe. You have related to or with people in the small-scale mining industry. You say we don't understand. Do you understand? Do you understand them? And if you understand them, can you help us understand them?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Small-scale mining or artisanal small-scale mining is a livelihood issue. And in tackling them, we need to be a bit tactical. That's all what I'm saying. Once you understand somebody, you can sit down with him and they'll be part of the solution.
To do is small-scale mining allowed legally in this country?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it's allowed.
So why do you think the young people are not doing legally allowed small-scale mining?
I think that, Mr. Chairman, there should be incentive to the formalization and legalizations of the operations.
What kind of incentives do you think we should have?
For instance, in the previous regime, I'm not being sounding political here, but if you place a blanket ban on small-scale mining without recognizing those who have registered and are indeed doing well, what will be the motivation for others to follow? So we should make formalization or legalization less expensive. That will attract people to actually legalize or formalize their operations. There is a law to that. The Small Scale Mining Act 2006, Act 703, spells out the modalities for the acquisition of mining licenses. And through the Minerals Commission, the same statute require them to provide extension services to the small scale miners. Mr. Chairman, if you allow me, let me say one thing. That as a former employee of the Minerals Commission, in our extension service provided, we had nothing to do with the illegal miners. But they are the major people causing the problems.
So is it your view that the supervising authorities, let's say Minerals Commission extension officers and EPA officers, should deal with all mining activities on the ground, irrespective of whether they are registered or not, so that at least at the barest minimum, we can ensure that they are mining according to the standards of mining, whether they are registered or not? Is that something that you think is a wise decision?
Mr. Chairman, that is what I will recommend, because they are causing the most of devastation. Let me draw your mind to something. In the
so we should separate questions of legality and title to the land where you are mining from the question of whether or not you are mining properly using the proper processes. We should separate those, and Mineral Commission supervisors, EPA officers on the ground should be blind to the question of whether or not you properly have title to the place, and focus on anybody who is mining and ensure that they mine according to accepted standard. Do you think that that is a smart thing to do?
That, you see, that's what I'm saying, Mr. Chairman.
So what I understand you to be saying is that one of the faults in our system is that Minerals Commission is blind to people actually on the ground mining simply because they don't have proper licenses to mine, EPA officials on the ground in a district will see people engage in small-scale mining, and they will not guide them to mine properly based on appropriate environmental standards, simply because those people don't have licenses to mine their sites. So if we had a regime where any of them, Minerals Commission or even EPA, could step in and supervise them to mine properly, at least we will be ensuring that they mine according to environmentally appropriate standards. Is that a position that you share?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, exactly what I'm saying.
Now, what do you think is the major challenge of these young people to access land? Because I was a Minister for Environment, and I toured the country, and I found out that many of these people that we say are engaged in illegal mining actually want to have permits to mine at the sites where they mine. Is that something you discovered yourself also?
Yes, I think there are limitations to where they can actually acquire licenses to mine.
I'm not saying that, I'm not asking, do they have a desire to have permits to mine the areas that they
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
You also discover that if they had easy access to permits, that they will mine in an environmentally appropriate manner. Did you discover that?
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
You also discover that they are happy to invest in their site if they had proper permits to mine at those.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
But what is causing them not to have access to permits to those sites? Is it because there are no officers for the Minerals Commission in those locations? Or is it that people at the Minerals Commission have already mapped out all those sites and plotted the names of companies, and when these young people go there and they want permits, they are told that the site is occupied, and then they also then decide to resort to illegal, so-called illegal mining? Is that something that you found out?
Yes, actually, the Minerals Commission, Mr. Chairman, have blocked out areas for small-scale mining. And most of these miners go outside the blocked out areas. And that is what brings about the illegality in the first place.
Do the Minerals Commission people carry out prospecting to ascertain the existence of adequate deposits in the area that they have blocked out? Because if you go and block out a forest that is full of rocks that don't have minerals and say I should go there, and then I see another location where people are mining and obtaining a lot of gold, you think I'll go to where you have blocked out that has nothing, and then I will not go to where people have been mining and getting gold?
Mr. Chairman, the Minerals Commission doesn't take up that responsibility because I think of the risk that you're talking about.
So Minerals Commission just blocks out places and say you can go here irrespective of whether there's gold there or not?
They require you to submit a site of your area of interest. So how that place becomes your area of interest is left to the miner. And I think the miners have ways of doing their quick, checks to see whether it is mineable or not.
So the Minerals Commission blocks out areas and says small-scale miners, you can go here, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
But they haven't done any studies to determine whether there's gold where they are directing them to go.
Not at all, Mr. Chairman.
And then the miners then discover that there's gold somewhere. And when they go there, they tell them that those areas have been blocked for large-scale miners.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that happens.
What will be your own natural tendency? Will you go to the place that doesn't have gold, or you go to where there's evidence that there's gold?
Of course, I'll go to where there's evidence, Mr. Chairman.
So do you think this observation gives you a clue how to resolve the issue of so-called illegal mining and galamsey?
Mr. Chairman, to begin with, I think to curb this small-scale or illegal small-scale mining menace, we need to get the miners organized and then work with their leadership. I think to an extent that will solve the problem. And then we can lead them to assess areas that are of, potential in terms of mineralization.
The point I want to make is, do you think that any effort to solve the problem of small-scale miners and encourage them to go to a site must necessarily involve the state investing in some basic reconnaissance prospecting to establish the existence of deposit before you direct them to that location?
Yes, I think, Mr. Chairman, that would be of help. Because if we get state-of-the-art equipment to determine where mineralization is, and you put the small-scale miners there, it will go a long way to help us solve the problem.
Then the investments that we make in soldiers to go around and then be chasing these young boys up and down, the investment that we make, that investment, do you think that if we devoted a fraction of that investment into buying some of the equipment that will actually help them determine the existence of deposits at sites that we are directing them, do you think that that would be a more appropriate use of state resources instead of investing in soldiers to be chasing them?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that's a very good step.
After all these discussions that we have had, when you are regional minister, briefly tell me what you will do about small-scale mining.
What I would do about small-scale mining is, in the first place, assess the level of illegal mining in the area. And then based on the various localities that I find them, I will work with stakeholders to actually come out with a roadmap. Mind you, all the areas may not have the same problems. They have site-specific issues that can be dealt with. I've been galvanizing all the experience and knowledge using the Minerals Commission, the EPA, and then as a regional minister, facilitating a process. I think we will go a long way to minimize the bad effect of illegal mining.
Thank you very much. Any further question, or I should take the floor and ask him questions? Honorable nominee, I will ask you just two questions. What will you consider to be the responsibilities of a regional minister? A position that you are designated, and if approved, you will be occupying.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The regional minister has a number of responsibilities. First of all, the regional minister, you serve as the link between the central government and then the region that you lead. You also have administrative responsibility because you have to coordinate, monitor and evaluate the performance of all the district assemblies under your jurisdiction. You are also in charge of security. For example, as you're talking about, small-scale mining is gradually becoming a national security issue. So you have a responsibility in terms of security. You also have a responsibility to ensure that district assembly development plan are aligned to that of the national government. You also have a responsibility to ensure that emergencies, are responded to. And what, as a regional minister, I would do is to have an emergency preparedness or emergency plan so that we see how we can manage them in the first place before they even arrive.
Thank you very much. My second question has got to do with some perennial problems between the MCEs or DCEs and the MPs in every region over the use of what is called the MP's share of the common fund, which is 4.5%. The MP is the one who is to authorize the use to which that money is supposed to be put. However, the MP is not a signatory to the account. Many a time, they would do the authorization, but the MC would refuse to sign the disbursement form, leading to the DCD and MFO writing the check. how do you intend to solve that problem in your region when given the nod?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Our performance at the regional and the district assembly levels should be measured by the people. And that is seen through elections. So if you are a DCE and you are not supporting your MP to implement projects through his common fund, and the DCE comes to tell me, the MP comes to tell me that you are sabotaging him, then I think that is something that is worth looking at. Because you are DC or MC, you have to make sure you collaborate very well with your MP. Because at the end of the day, if we are doing well, it will be measured by the result percentages that we have in elections. So I will not countenance that. And what I will also advise is that the MPs should have good rapport with their MCs or the DCs. And I think if that is done, I'm sure with my able supervision and sometimes advice, this will not happen in the Western North region.
Thank you very much for displaying your knowledge. We are grateful for you attending upon the committee and answering questions. You will hear from the committee, but before I discharge you, let me have the pleasure to introduce Mr. Michael Edu, NDC Regional Chairman, Western North Region. Mrs. Esther Ejapoma Brentum, spouse of the Regional Minister nominee. Beima Tando Ben Buen II, our Win Mahini, Oko Ahiko Kodo Mpan Ababio, Konti Hini of Chirano Traditional Council, Western North. Nana Enoku Penny III, Chief of New Yakesi. Mr. David Kwa, Regional Vice Chairman, Western North Region. Comfort Nyako, Regional Women's Organizer, Western North Region. Nana Obompenyi III, Chief of Omanpi Divisional Area, Omape Divisional Area, and Tufuhini of our Win Traditional Area. Nana Tano Kaba II, Chief of Kwewu and Ekwamuhini of our Win Divisional Council. Dr. Joseph Yensu, Regional Executive and Senior Lecturer, Kumasi University. You are welcome. Honorable nominee, you are hereby discharged.